Hello, friends. I'm Pastor Steve Knutson, Senior Pastor here at First Lutheran Church. Each day, I or one of my colleagues will share a daily devotion. We're going to call it Light for Today. We're developing an online worship and prayer gatherings, and we invite you to check out our Spotlight Facebook and homepage to learn more about how you might connect. For today, a phrase that comes to my mind is one that was spoken by an old Irish Bishop Catholic of long ago, Bishop Aidan, who at the end of his ministry simply said this: "Now remember the small things that you have seen me do and say." Remember the small things. We find ourselves in the middle of big things happening in this moment, and perhaps now then is the best time to remember what it means to do the small things. And what are they? Perhaps it is to remember the power of compassion and kindness. That even when we are feeling anxious, it matters when we show kindness to another person. So take time to ask a spouse or child, "How are you doing?" And then just simply pause and listen to what they have to say. Take time to reach out to a friend or a colleague or a family member, whether by phone or text, and to check in. Perhaps it also means to simply take time and be present in this moment and to give thanks. We can become anxious when we look to an uncertain future and we overlook how God provides in this moment. For today, now, God provides. I have shelter, I have food, I have family and friends and a church community. I have what I need. In the gospel reading for this Sunday, we hear a story of Jesus who heals a man born blind. What strikes me about this story is how Jesus took time to do the small thing. As he and his disciples passed by the man, the disciples asked the large, big, speculative questions. Who sinned that caused this man to be born blind? What is the moral order of the universe in this moment? And Jesus simply brushes those questions aside, and he takes time simply to provide care and compassion and to take care of the man. So that invites us to perhaps ask the question of what it means to remember the small things that you see that Jesus did and say. To remember how Jesus ate with sinners and spent time with those on the margins. To remember how Jesus would simply stop whatever he was doing and turn to someone on the side of the road and ask, "What do you need?" To remember how Jesus was patient and persistent with disciples who so often did not understand. To remember again the teachings of Jesus and how often he called us to do the small things, that is, to be human and loving, to be compassionate, to have courage of faith, and to fear not, but to trust God in the moment. To remember the small things you have seen and heard that Jesus did. Perhaps that's a simple light of God that we need for today. So God's peace and blessing be with you today. Until tomorrow, have a good day.